Hi, everybody. Dr. Kyle Olson with Chiropractic First in Rockford. I want to take a minute today and talk to you about something that was just kind of brought to my attention more recently when in regards to the food that I'm eating at home and the food that I make for my kids every day when they go off to lunch, the babysitter to school. Now, this is something that I kind of knew about, and maybe you have too, but until I saw it kind of visualized, I didn't even realize how important this was, and that's how our food is prepared or sold to us on the grocery store shelves, and specifically with apples. So remember the saying, you eat with your eyes first, right? We judge the quality of the food based on what we think it should look like. So for apples, in nature, they create a nice little thin layer of natural wax, and it protects the apples. And what we look for in the grocery shelves are something very similar to that. We want apples that are shiny, that have a little bit of gleam to them, that don't have bruises, that look like they're symmetrical. These are all things that we'll look at, and if we see that, we will skip over an apple that doesn't look that good and not buy it. So grocery stores have a vested interest, and apple suppliers or fruit suppliers or the middlemen have a vested interest in making food look good for a long period of time until it's able to be sold to us at the store. And with apples specifically, one of the things that they do is they put wax over that apple. And what that does is it allows it to stay longer on the shelves until it's sold. If you've ever been to an apple orchard and picked around apples, you've seen once they hit the ground, it really only takes a few days before they start to get really kind of gross looking, honestly. And you just don't see that in grocery stores as much. And considering many of our produce and our vegetables and things are now coming from overseas or longer distances, especially when they're out of season, it makes sense that they have to be preserved. Well, the reason I bring this up is because apples have a lot of wax on them when you buy them at a grocery store. And it's something I want you to be aware of because it's something that you should be cleaning your apples for, watching out for. If you're giving it to your kids, yourself, it's just one of those toxins that gets overlooked a lot, but over time could accumulate in your body and create some issues with your GI tract. Imagine eating a little bit of wax. It may not be a big deal, but a little bit of wax, dozens and dozens of times a year, hundreds of times over your lifetime, or in a young developing child's digestive tract could certainly have negative effects on top of anything else that's going in. So I brought a couple apples the other day from the store. I'm going to show you these. I got these right off the shelf at a big box store. There's nothing secret about these apples. They're red, and I just want to walk you through a couple of things to kind of show you just how much is there. The first thing I'm going to do is take a normal apple, a single apple, right? Still has the sticker on it. And I'm going to just use a little knife, and I'm going to just run it up and down a little bit. And what this is doing is removing the very top layer of wax off of the apple. Just takes a minute to do this. Now, this isn't the best way to clean it necessarily. There are other ways, and there's some ways you can look that up. But just so you can visualize just how much I'm getting off with very little effort, I'm going to set that right here. And I want to show you exactly how much came off just with that very simple procedure. So we're going to join in over here. You can see with this apple, with very little effort, I was able to get that much wax off all the way around. And this isn't even going up and down the whole way. It's really just a sampling, right? Now, the other thing I want to show you is what happens when you remove that wax and why so much of it is done commercially. These are two other apples. They're the exact same apple bought right next to this one off the shelf. The one here on the right side that you see is one that I removed the wax from 2 days ago. And to do that, I used boiling water, poured it over the top, and melted the wax so it does a little bit more of a thorough job. The one on the left is one that is untouched. And so you can see visually why they would be adding wax or adding some of these color additives and things like that to our food to make it look more appealing. If you had the option between these two apples, I know which one I would pick. I bet I know which one you would pick. So again, this is one example of why it's important to look at your food supply, do a little bit of research on the food that you're buying most commonly for your family, for yourself. Find ways to find healthier options, or apples, something like this. There's just ways of cleaning your apple, and I won't go through that today. Go ahead and look online. There's different ways, including using boiling water. You can use apple cider vinegar. There's lemon juice. There's natural cleaners out there that you can purchase pre-made. There's just different things that you can do in order to protect yourself as much as possible. So just want to take a minute, spread a little bit of awareness, a little bit of food for thought. Have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you all again soon. Have a wonderful, healthy rest of your day.